Ladies and gentlemen, in a world where our days move fast and our minds move even faster, the way we end our nights matters more than we realize. A peaceful wind-down routine is not a luxury, it's a necessity. It's the bridge between the chaos of the day and the calm of the night, a gentle reminder that we deserve rest, care, and stillness. Tonight, I want to share with you a routine built on three simple elements: soft lights, skincare, and journaling. Together, these practices can transform your nights, support your mental wellness, and improve your overall quality of life. First, we embrace soft lights, allowing our brains to slowly drift out of the daytime rush. Next, we practice skincare, not just as a beauty habit, but as a self-connection ritual. And finally, we turn to journaling, giving our thoughts a place to land so our minds can breathe. Each step is small, but together they create an atmosphere of healing, clarity, and renewal. Soft lights play a surprisingly powerful role in how our minds and bodies transition from the energy of the day to the calmness of the night. In fact, the moment you dim your surroundings, you're doing something far deeper than just changing the atmosphere. You are communicating directly with your brain in a language that it instinctively understands. Bright light is a symbol of activity, productivity, and alertness. It tells your body to stay awake, be sharp, keep going. But when the lights soften, when warm hues replace the harsh glare, your brain receives a completely different message. Slow down, breathe. It's time to rest. Throughout the day, we are exposed to screens, overhead lighting, sunlight, and constant visual stimulation. This keeps our nervous system in a high alert state, often without us even realizing it. By the evening, our minds are still racing, our bodies still tense, and our emotions still processing everything that's happened. But soft lighting begins to reverse that stimulation. It creates a natural shift from external noise to internal calmness. It's almost like pressing a dimmer switch on your entire emotional system, allowing everything to gently settle. Soft lighting also affects your hormonal balance. The human brain is incredibly sensitive to light, especially when it comes to sleep-related hormones. When the environment becomes darker or warmer toned, your brain begins to produce melatonin, the chemical responsible for helping you feel sleepy. This is why bright white lights or screens at night make it harder to fall asleep. They interrupt melatonin production and trick your brain into thinking it's still daytime. But when the lights soften, melatonin begins to rise naturally, guiding your body into a state of peaceful readiness for sleep. It's a simple shift with a scientifically powerful impact. Another important aspect of soft lighting is its emotional effect. The moment the lighting becomes gentle, something inside you slows down too. Your breathing becomes deeper. Your thoughts begin to quiet. Your shoulders relax without you even trying. This is because the environment around you influences your inner world. You cannot feel calm in a space that feels intense. You cannot mentally unwind in an atmosphere that stimulates your senses. Soft lights reduce the level of intensity around you, allowing your mind to stop operating at 110% and settle into a softer, more reflective state. It's like creating a cozy hideaway for your mind at the end of a long day. In addition, soft lighting creates a feeling of safety and emotional warmth. Harsh lights can feel clinical, stressful, or draining, almost like you're still in a work environment or a busy public space. But soft lights make your space feel more personal, intimate, and comforting. They create a mood that tells your body, you're home, you're safe. You're allowed to relax now. This shift is subtle, but it has a huge impact on your emotional well-being, because feeling safe is the foundation of feeling calm. Even the colors of soft lights matter. Warm tones, such as amber, soft yellow, or candle-like light, mimic natural sunset light. Humans are biologically programmed to wind down when the sun sets, so warm colors activate that instinct. This is why warm lighting feels comforting and soothing, while blue or white lighting feels energizing and alerting. Incorporating warm, soft light into your night routine allows you to align your modern habits with your natural biological rhythm. Soft lighting also creates a visually peaceful environment. When the brightness fades and shadows grow, The world feels less sharp and demanding. You're not overstimulated by every detail around you. Instead, your senses are gently muted, allowing your mind to turn inward. Inward shift is essential for rest because it allows you to mentally distance yourself from the pressures and expectations of the day. A calm environment is one of the most underrated tools we have for improving our mental state, especially at night. The world we live in is full of constant stimulation. Loud sounds, bright screens, fast-paced conversations, nonstop notifications, and overwhelming information. All day long, our senses are pulled in different directions. By the time evening arrives, our brains are still processing, still reacting, still trying to keep up with the demands of the day. This is why creating a calm environment at night becomes so essential. It is the space where your mind finally gets permission to slow down, breathe, and release the pressure it has been holding. When you intentionally reduce noise, soften lights, and eliminate unnecessary distractions, you are essentially telling your brain that it no longer needs to be in alert mode, Getting in the severe here. Throughout the day, your nervous system operates in a constant state of mild stress response. Not always the dramatic kind of stress, but a subtle level of tension that keeps you alert, cautious, and ready to respond. This state is useful during work and daily responsibilities, but harmful if carried into the night. A calm nighttime environment helps deactivate this stress mode by reducing sensory input, giving your brain fewer things to analyze, react to, or worry about. The impact of overstimulation is deeper than most people realize. When there is too much sensory input, the brain has to work harder to filter what's important and what's not. This constant filtering is mentally exhausting. It can make you feel restless, irritated, overwhelmed, or mentally cloudy without even knowing why. That's why when you step into a quiet, peaceful environment, you often feel an instant release. Your mind no longer has to fight through noise or clutter. It can finally rest. Even simple actions like turning off background TV noise, lowering your phone brightness, or stepping away from loud notifications create space for mental relaxation. A calm environment also supports emotional regulation. When you reduce stimulation, your thoughts become clearer and your emotions more stable. Rather than being pulled from one feeling to another by external triggers, you can actually process how you feel. This clarity is especially important at night because it sets the emotional tone for your sleep. A noisy, chaotic environment often leads to racing thoughts, overthinking, or emotional agitation. But a peaceful space helps your mind slow down its emotional pace, allowing you to reflect gently instead of spiraling into stress. Another powerful effect of a calm environment is how it enhances mindfulness. When there are fewer sensory distractions, you become more aware of small, peaceful sensations, the softness of your pillow, the warmth of your blanket, the rhythm of your breathing, or the quiet of your room. These subtle experiences anchor you in the present moment. Being grounded in the present prevents your mind from wandering into past worries or future anxieties, which are usually the biggest causes of nighttime stress. Reducing overstimulation also helps your body physically relax. When your brain senses calm surroundings, it signals your muscles to release tension. Your breathing deepens naturally, your heartbeat slows, your shoulders drop. This physical relaxation triggers the activation of the parasympathetic nervous system, the arrest and restore mode of the body. In this mode, your body repairs itself, your stress hormones decrease, and your energy resets. None of this can fully happen if your environment feels chaotic or overstimulating. A calm environment also encourages mental boundaries. It separates your a-day mode from your a-night mode. During the day, your mind is open to tasks, responsibilities, and problem solving. But at night, your environment should gently mark the transition into rest. When the environment shifts, your brain follows. Visual cues like tidiness, dim lights, quiet surroundings, and the absence of screens help your mind detach from daytime pressures. This detachment is necessary for true mental rest, the kind that prepares you for better sleep and clearer thoughts. A nightly skincare routine is often seen as something simple, washing your face, applying a moisturizer, maybe adding a serum or a mask. But beneath these physical actions lies something much deeper, something emotional, psychological, and even spiritual. Skincare, when done with intention, becomes a ritual of self-connection. It is one of the few moments of the day where you stop rushing, stop giving, stop running after tasks, and instead shift the focus inward toward yourself. In a world that constantly demands your attention, your energy, and your effort, this small routine becomes a quiet act of reclaiming your presence. Every step in skincare requires you to pause. When you cleanse your face, you are not just removing dirt or makeup. You are symbolically washing away the stress, frustration, and emotional heaviness you've carried throughout the day. The warm water against your skin is grounding, pulling you back into your body after hours of mental activity. For a moment, your thoughts slow down because your senses take over. You feel the texture of the cleanser, the temperature of the water, the softness of the towel. These sensations bring you into the present moment, creating a connection between your mind and body that often gets lost during the day. Skincare also involves gentle touch, which plays a powerful role in emotional healing. When you apply oils, lotions, or creams, you are physically nurturing yourself. This act of self-touch releases oxytocin, the hormone associated with bonding, comfort, and emotional warmth. This is why people feel calmer, soothed, and more cared for after completing their skincare routine. The slow, mindful motion of massaging your skin sends signals to your brain that you are safe, that you are cared for, and that you deserve tenderness. It is a subtle reminder that you are not just surviving the day, you are taking care of yourself through it. Beyond the physical sensations, skincare creates a sense of personal ritual. Rituals bring structure, consistency, and meaning into your life. They create emotional anchors, moments you can count on no matter how unpredictable your day may have been. When you return to your nighttime skincare routine, you return to a familiar place within yourself. The routine becomes a quiet conversation between you and your inner self. It becomes a space free from judgment, pressure, and chaos. This sense of routine and predictability calms the mind because the brain relaxes when it knows what comes next. Skincare also fosters self-awareness. As you stand in front of the mirror and observe your face, not in a critical way, but in a gentle, human way, you begin to notice how you actually feel. Some days your eyes look tired. Some days your skin looks vibrant. Some days you can see stress written across your features. These small observations help you check in with yourself emotionally. You learn to ask, how was my day? What do I need right now? Am I overwhelmed? Am I okay? This silent self-check builds emotional intelligence and reconnects you with your inner world. Another powerful aspect of skincare is the sense of worth it creates. When you take time out of your day to care for your skin, you are sending a message to yourself that you matter. You are not rushing through your own needs. You are not putting yourself last. Instead, even through a small routine, you are honoring your body and acknowledging your worth. This can be deeply healing, especially for people who spend most of their day giving to others, working hard, or dealing with stress. Skincare also slows down your pace. It forces you to engage in slow, mindful actions, pressing in a serum, blending a moisturizer, massaging your temples. These slow movements counteract the hurried, tense pace of the day. They reduce anxiety by teaching your body a new rhythm, calm, steady, intentional. This slow, soothing pace helps regulate your nervous system and eases your mind out of its busy state. One of the most comforting parts of a nighttime routine is how skincare creates physical relaxation. The body and mind are deeply connected, and sometimes the fastest way to calm the mind is by soothing the body. Skincare, when done slowly and intentionally, becomes a form of physical therapy, a gentle reset that signals your entire system to release tension. The warm water, the soft textures, the rhythmic motions of applying creams or serums all work together to create a state of ease that you can feel not just on your skin, but throughout your body. The simple act of washing your face with warm water is more powerful than most people realize. Warmth relaxes muscles, increases blood circulation, and loosens the tightness that builds up in the jaw, forehead, and temples throughout the day. These areas are where many people carry stress without even knowing it. When the warm water touches your face, it gently melts away that tension. As the heat spreads across your skin, your facial muscles begin to let go, your breathing deepens, and your body shifts into a calmer state naturally. The warmth communicates safety and comfort, and the nervous system responds by lowering stress levels. The textures used in skincare also contribute to physical relaxation. The silky glide of a serum, the creamy softness of a moisturizer, the cooling sensation of a gel, these sensory experiences activate the body's relaxation response. Yes, when you smooth these textures across your skin, your brain focuses on the gentle sensations, causing your internal stress messages to quiet down. Sensory comfort is grounding. It pulls your attention out of racing thoughts and brings it into the present moment. This is why people often feel calmer as they move through their skincare routine. Their mind is reconnecting with the physical world in a soothing way. Additionally, the slow, repetitive motions involved in skincare have a calming rhythm. When you massage your cheeks, forehead, or jawline in circular motions, you create a steady pattern that your body recognizes as peaceful. Repetition is relaxing for the nervous system. It mimics the feeling of being rocked, soothed, or comforted. The brain interprets these repeated motions as a signal that everything is safe and stable. In moments like these, your nervous system begins shifting out of a fight or flight or flight mode and into rest and restore mode. This switch is essential for good sleep and for emotional reset. Facial massage in particular plays an important role. When you gently massage the muscles around your temples, under your eyes, or on your forehead, you increase blood flow and release muscle tightness. This reduces headaches, eye strain, and jaw tension, all common sources of nighttime discomfort. As tension leaves these areas, your whole body follows. You may notice your shoulders drop, your neck loosens, or your breathing slows without effort. This cascade of relaxation begins with the simple act of touching your own skin with kindness. Beyond this physical comfort, skincare also engages the parasympathetic nervous system through breath. As you move through your routine, your breathing naturally becomes deeper and slower. Slow breathing is one of the most effective ways to relax the body because it tells the brain that there is no danger, no rush, and no need to be on high alert. Skincare encourages this type of breathing because the motions require patience and presence. You are not rushing through the steps. You are moving with intention, and your breath mirrors that intention. Temperature also plays a role. The warmth of water softens and relaxes, while the coolness of certain products, like a chilled jade roller or a calming gel, soothes inflammation and brings a refreshing sense of lightness to the skin. Alternating between warm and cool sensations can further relax the body by stimulating circulation and releasing trapped tension. Each temperature shift provides a new form of comfort, creating a soothing cycle that your body finds incredibly calming. All of these actions, warmth, texture, motion, breath, work together to create physical comfort that gently guides the mind into a peaceful state. When your body feels safe and soothed, your mind follows the same path, allowing stress to fade and calmness to rise. Journaling at night is one of the most effective ways to calm the mind because it gives your thoughts a place to land. Throughout the day, your mind collects information, emotions, conversations, worries, tasks, memories, and impressions. Even when you are not consciously thinking about them, these thoughts pile up in the background. This mental clutter creates a sense of heaviness and overstimulation that many people feel at night. That restless, buzzing feeling that keeps you awake even when your body is tired. Journaling works like a release valve. It allows everything inside your mind to spill onto paper, creating space for peace and clarity. The moment you begin writing, you shift your thoughts from abstract and unorganized to structured and concrete. Thoughts inside the mind float around chaotically, bouncing from one idea to another, but once written down, they become stable, contained, and less overwhelming. A problem that feels huge in your head often becomes manageable when you see it on paper. A worry that feels confusing becomes easier to understand when expressed in full sentences. Journaling helps you make sense of your own thoughts, and this simple act of externalizing them can significantly reduce anxiety. Journaling also slows down your thinking. When you write, you can only put down one word at a time, one sentence at a time. This naturally forces your mind to slow its pace. Instead of jumping rapidly between worries or replaying stressful moments, you begin focusing on one thought at a time. This single task focus brings your brain into a calmer rhythm. As you write, your breathing deepens, your shoulders relax, and your mind starts to organize itself. This process turns confusion into clarity and chaos into order. Another powerful aspect of journaling is emotional processing. Many people carry emotions from the day: frustration, sadness, irritation, excitement, disappointment, without fully acknowledging them. Unprocessed emotions become internal noise, creating mental clutter. Journaling gives you a safe space to express those emotions honestly. You can vent without judgment, reflect without interruption, and release feelings that you may not feel comfortable saying out loud. When emotions are written down, they lose their intensity. They stop swirling inside you and become something you can understand rather than something you feel trapped by. Journaling also helps you identify patterns. Over time, you begin noticing what triggers your stress, what energizes you, what drains you, and what brings you joy. These insights empower you to make better decisions, set healthier boundaries, and improve your emotional well-being. But in the moment, during your nightly routine, journaling gives you immediate mental relief. By the time you finish writing, your thoughts feel lighter, your mind feels quieter, and your heart feels less burdened. One of the most comforting benefits of journaling is the sense of control it gives you. When thoughts stay inside your head, they can feel overwhelming and uncontrollable. But when you write them down, you take ownership of them. You decide what to focus on, what to release, and what to leave for tomorrow. This act of taking mental responsibility creates a sense of stability and confidence that supports your emotional health. Journaling also reduces overthinking. Many people experience a nighttime overthinking habit, replaying conversations, worrying about the future, or reliving mistakes. Writing interrupts this cycle. When the thoughts are on paper, the mind doesn't feel the need to rehearse them again and again. You signal to your brain, "This thought is stored. You don't need to keep reminding me." This helps your mind settle down, making it easier to fall asleep without mental noise. Finally, journaling gives your mind closure for the day. It marks the end of the emotional and mental work you've carried, allowing you to separate the day from the night. By clearing mental clutter, you create space for stillness, calm, and rest. The kind of rest that refreshes your mind for a better tomorrow. Journaling at night does more than just clear your mind. It creates emotional clarity. All day long, your emotions shift through different experiences: stress from responsibilities, joy from small moments, irritation from challenges, relief from solving problems, or sadness from disappointments. But most people move so quickly through their day that they rarely stop to understand these emotions. They simply carry them unconsciously, letting them build up layer by layer. Journaling becomes a powerful moment of self-awareness, where you finally pause and listen to what is happening inside you. Emotional clarity begins when you put your feelings into words. When you write down how your day made you feel, you move from vague discomfort to understanding. You might realize, "I wasn't angry, I was exhausted," or "I wasn't upset, I just felt unheard." This kind of clarity prevents emotional confusion, which is one of the biggest sources of stress. When emotions remain unclear, the mind overreacts, overthinks, or misinterprets situations. But journaling helps untangle these emotional knots. By labeling your feelings, you reduce their intensity and make them easier to manage. Writing also helps you see connections between events and emotions. You begin to notice how certain people influence your mood, how specific routines support your well-being, or how certain habits drain your energy. These insights can guide you toward making healthier choices in the future. Emotional clarity is not about controlling your feelings. It's about understanding them deeply enough to navigate them with wisdom rather than reacting out of overwhelm. Journaling also nurtures emotional honesty. There are feelings we hide from others and sometimes even from ourselves. Worries we don't want to admit, fears we don't want to face, hopes we are afraid to say out loud. The journal becomes a safe space where you can express truth without fear of judgment. When you pour your heart onto the page, you meet yourself with honesty, and honesty brings emotional freedom. You learn to understand your desires, your limits, your wounds, and your strengths in a way daily life rarely allows. Another transformative part of journaling is gratitude. Gratitude is not just about writing down things that went well. It is a mindset that shifts the way your brain perceives the world. When you actively reflect on what you appreciate, your mind starts to reinforce positive pathways. Gratitude weakens the impact of negative thoughts and strengthens your ability to focus on what is meaningful. Even on difficult days, finding one thing to be grateful for, a peaceful moment, a kind gesture, a breath of fresh air, helps balance the emotional weight of the day. Writing gratitude at night is especially powerful because it influences how you sleep. Studies show that people who focus on gratitude before bed experience fewer racing thoughts, reduced stress, and improved emotional stability. Gratitude calms the mind by reminding it that the day was not only about stress or challenges, it also contained moments of care, beauty, or growth. When you fall asleep with a grateful mindset, your brain settles into a softer emotional state, making rest deeper and more restorative. Journaling also helps you track your emotional growth over time. When you look back on previous entries, you may notice how much you've healed, how your perspective has matured, or how challenges that once overwhelmed you now feel manageable. This strengthens your sense of self-trust. You begin to see that you can handle life, survive difficulties, and grow through discomfort. This long-term reflection becomes a powerful source of motivation and emotional resilience. In this way, journaling becomes more than a habit. It becomes a mirror of your inner world. Through emotional clarity and gratitude, the practice teaches you to understand your heart, appreciate your journey, and face each day with a stronger sense of peace. And so, as the night wraps itself around us, these simple practices, soft lights, mindful skincare, and honest journaling, become our invitation to slow down. In a world that constantly pushes us to move faster, these moments remind us that rest is not weakness, but real renewal. Inner renewal. They reconnect us with our own breath, our own thoughts, and our own needs. They teach us that peace is not something we wait for. It is something we create. Every night gives us a chance to return to ourselves, to release the weight of the day, to honor our bodies, to understand our emotions, to prepare our minds for a gentler tomorrow. So as you step into your own evening routine, let it be a moment of gratitude, comfort, and quiet healing. Because when we end our nights with intention, we begin our next day with strength on.